Hello, Simone Mendez here with yet another video in regards to just topics related to mental health. And so today I felt inspired to talk about time management. And you might be wondering, okay, how does time management relate to mental health? And honestly, time management relates to mental health in a major way. And I think the reason why I was feeling inspired to talk about it is because right now I have a handful of clients who just have so much on their plate. They're juggling so many different things and they're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling stressed. They're feeling anxious. And so, trying to process through that. And one of the things that we have been able to come to terms with is time management. When you've got a lot going on and you have multiple different things on your plate and you wear a handful of different hats, it can be overwhelming. You might be able to get through it and you might be able to do all the things, but really and truly, if you stop and took the time to take a breath, you might realize that you are extremely overwhelmed and you are running on very thin fumes, and you're tired, and you might be struggling with memory issues and different things like that, and it could relate back to the fact that your time management skills are a little rusty. So let's talk about that. Let's kind of jump into this need to say yes to everything. I think in today's society, we struggle with saying no. We struggle with being able to tell people, hey, I can't do that, or hey, I really don't want to do that. I appreciate you considering me. I appreciate you reaching out to me, but I right now, I really don't want to do that. And we struggle with saying that to people, whether it's because we struggle with people pleasing, or we don't want to let people down, or we're fearful of how someone may react to us saying no. I mean, there's a handful of reasons why people may specifically struggle with saying no, but all in all, a lot of people struggle with that. And so because they tend to not say no in times when they really should, they end up taking on things that they, one, may not have the time for, two, may not have the energy for, and three, may not even want to. But again, because they're fearful of how that other person might receive their no, they just say yes and they just go with it. And so now they're overwhelmed. Now they're scrambling, trying to figure out how to squeeze something else in that they really and truly should have just said no to. So that's one thing, the issue with learning how to say no, and learning that it's okay to say no, because part of that learning how is learning that it is absolutely okay. Like, of course, you don't have to be mean about it and you don't have to be nasty, but no is a complete sentence. I love that phrase. No is a complete sentence. When you go to tell somebody no in response to something, you do not have to feel obligated to give them this long, drawn out explanation. No is no. Now, if you want to explain, hey, I'm really interested, I really love that, again, I appreciate you thinking about me, but blah, 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 no, that's fine. But if you don't want to do that, you are more than okay to just say, I'm sorry, but I can't, and go on. And then you need to learn how to do that. And sometimes it takes therapy. Sometimes it takes working with a therapist to process through, the underlying reasons of why you struggle to say no, and then coming up with some practical ways of how to put into practice saying no. Sometimes it takes working with a therapist to do those things. Sometimes it just takes acknowledging, you know what? I am a people pleaser. I do tend to say yes when I really don't want to. I'm going to stop. And sometimes it just takes looking at everything that you've got going on and saying, well, I can't say yes to another thing, and that being your way of realizing you need to say no. But whatever it is that you need to do, you need to go ahead and do it so you can learn how to say no. Another reason that we feel overwhelmed, we feel stressed, our time management is lacking, is because we don't organize. We just kind of get up and go about our day, and whatever happens. And although, in some instances that's okay, and every day does not have to be completely structured, and it is okay to kind of just go by the day and see what happens. That's okay. But sometimes you do need to either schedule or map out or list what you need to do, so that by the time the end of the day comes, you're not feeling overwhelmed because you're like, oh my goodness, I still have these 10 things to do and it's already 8 o'clock. So having a little pocket agenda, or a planner, or utilizing your phone and the calendar or the list, or some form of tool that helps you stay organized. And again, like I said, this doesn't have to be an everyday thing and you have to live by this. That doesn't have to be the case, but it is something that is helpful, and it tends to help you stay organized and be more aware of what all you do have going on. That way, one, if you need to say no to something, you know that that's necessary because you see what you've got going on. And two, again, you don't get halfway through your day or to the end of your day and realize, oh my goodness, I didn't even tackle X, Y, and Z because it wasn't on your list. So get organized. Find a way to keep yourself kind of in track. Another way to help with time management is to minimize distractions. So if you know that you are easily distracted by social media, by your phone, which at times we all are, holding yourself accountable, whether it's taking a social media sabbatical, whether it's limiting, just if your willpower is that good, limiting the amount of times you log into social media, deleting the apps off your phone and only accessing it via a computer. There's different types of ways to help limit and monitor the amount of interaction you have with social media, but that might be something you have to do in order to eliminate distractions and help you better manage your time. It might not be social media. It might be interacting with friends or talking or doing everything but the things you're supposed to be doing. And so if you are able to identify what your particular distractions are, again, whether it's social media, whether it's your a social butterfly, and when you get around people you just love to talk, or it's snacking. Maybe you you easily get distracted because you work from home and it's easy to run to the kitchen and grab a snack and find something else to do, and next thing you know, it's been 30 minutes and you haven't gone back to the task at hand. So identifying your distractions and learning how to best eliminate them. And I'm not saying you have to completely do away with them, because social media can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing, but it can also be a good thing. So I'm not saying you have to completely rid your life of these things, but definitely learn how to limit the things that tend to distract you. That way, again, you can better manage your time, because ultimately that is the focus, is to ensure that you are best managing your time so that you can be as productive as you're hoping to be, and you can set out to accomplish the things that you're choosing to accomplish. And so those were just some things that I know I've suggested to clients here and there, because like I said, I feel like more recently I've seen a lot of people struggling with feeling overwhelmed and feeling like they just have so much going on. And like I said, it boils down to time management. It boils down to, how are you best using the time that you have? We all have the same 24 hours. We all have the same 7 days a week. And no, our lives are not the same, and we do not all have the same responsibilities, but we all have the same responsibility to best manage our time according to our lives and what our specific lives call for. So those are just a few suggestions. And again, as I always suggest, it's always good to dive into these topics with a therapist. So if you have utilized EFSC Cares, that is absolutely wonderful. And if you have not, be sure to look into EFSC Cares, as it is free counseling for all EFSC students. And there's also other ways to receive counseling. If you have insurance, you can go through your insurance, word of mouth, many different ways to find a counselor that best fits you. But definitely check with EFSC Cares first, because that is right there and that's on campus. I highly encourage it. I highly encourage all of you to, at some point, check in with a therapist. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out, 5-year commitment. It could be a 3-session commitment. Like your main goal could be making sure that you have the best tools to manage your time as best as you can. and that be what you establish with your therapist, and you say, hey, in 3 sessions this is what I would like to accomplish, and bam, that's what you do. So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to sharing some tips with you in the next video that I do. I will talk with you all soon. Bye.